Bismillah, salatu salamu ala Rasulillah sallallahu alaihi wasallam wa ashabihi wa ajma'in wal halaqibita lil muttaqin. Today I'm going to touch about our fear and weakness, our fragility, our weakness of Iman and our fragility in unity. That's why Ummah as a whole, even though one in almost four people are Muslim, they don't find the strength to do anything because of the 100 years of colonial rule. Their backbone is shattered. The title I have put for this presentation is 13I to the power minus 1 into 1 U to the power minus 1. I'm going to explain what this 13 is and what I stand for and U stands for. Iman is faith, Iman and unity. So I have taken I from Iman and U from unity. I stands for the level and depth of Iman, conviction in Iman compared to that of the companions of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the Prophet of our time. The Iman of the Prophet's companion taken as a standard one. U stands for unity of the Ummah, or a segment compared to the companions of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Also, the companions' unity has been taken as one. This model comes from the fact that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam lived in Mecca period after his prophethood, 13 years. 13 years time they built, the Prophet and the companions built up their Iman. Allah put different trials and tribulation test, and they successfully faced and they built up their Iman, and they also built up their unity. So that being 13 years, and the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his companions being one unity, so 13 times 1 is the full maturity time to migrate to nearby city, welcoming nearby city which welcomes them, a welcoming city or region in the event of similar colossal aggression, oppression, genocide, and so on that we see at this very moment. This Middle Eastern Zionist state and uh, and Muslims living there, problem between that is around 100 years of time. So many 13 years has gone, but still Muslims are not gathering back their unity and strength because they are waiting for heavenly intervention. So how do you give them courage? So that's why this mathematical formula I have coined to try to using scientific mathematical expression the possibility the Ummah have with what they could do and what they can do. Why nearby city? Migration to nearby city. Why nearby city? The objective of the migration is not to give up the right to their land, house, properties. Nearby city will allow them to return as early as possible. A grievous misconception which is causing colossal level of sufferings to the Muslims living in Gaza. If the Muslims in Gaza migrates in mass, all they migrate from there will be no Muslims. So the fear of many Muslim countries have that if there are no Muslim remaining there, automatically they will leave. The case against them will be settled and they will lose the right to this holy land Allah subhanahu has given them forever. But that is a very grievous wrong misconception, and due to this some many of the times the border remains closed. The Muslims living in there under aggression, under attack, are not allowed to leave the enclosure. My question is, did the right to Mecca was gone because the Prophet ﷺ and the companions migrated from the Mecca to Medina? Did it gone? What history says? It is not unknown. Rather, after the migration, they got it back. In a way, they will never lose it, inshallah. Collective quality of our time. There is a hadith of Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. You can read here Arabic text and English text. Basically, he says, the best generation is his generations. And then after that, the generations is to come, and after that, and after that. So those generation already has gone. We cannot be best as them, but we are not also zero to them. We need to assess ourselves and figure out what is our level of Iman, our level of unity may be very weak, but how weak it is. It is not obviously zero. Prophet ﷺ also foretold the Ummah what is going to happen after prophethood. This hadith is there. You can read Arabic text and English. All these are Google searchable. Nothing is open secret. After the prophethood, there will be caliphate. Then, after the caliphate era is gone, there will be biting rulers. But they will still follow some Islamic morals, values, and principles. So, those once those are gone, there will be tyrants. They will not even follow they will bite. Along with their biting, they will also have no moral values, not following Islamic teaching of peace. So after the tyrants are gone, the caliphate is going to come back. So caliphate is going to come back is already known open secret, and there is nothing to hide. Going back to the formula, let's analyze what is happening in Gaza, the Gaza case. The quality of Iman I of the present day Ummah is very weak, as we have allowed kings and tyrants to be well seated within ourselves. That's why multiples of 13 years have passed since the collapse of the regime. Just because the quality of Iman is weaker does not mean the maturity of the or the right time will never come. If we could quantify I in a percentage, we could perhaps say, okay, these many years are equivalent to 13 years of the Prophet ﷺ in Mecca for graduation. It is also dependent upon the strength and discipline of the unity of the Ummah. Our unity is also very fragile with no discipline. That also increases the original value of I, that is 13 into 1, while I is equal to 1 or 100% and U is equal to 1 or 100% with reference that is of the Prophet and his companions. Questioning the purpose of this model. Well, in the absence of a yardstick, there is no mechanism to give Ummah the confidence that even if our quality of Iman and unity are weaker, how far we are away from achieving what Rasulullah ﷺ and his companions as a group achieved, and what time it was needed for them to gather that level of Iman and unity to be able to achieve what they have achieved. So 13 years is a graduation period from Mecca. So remaining within the enemy, they could not achieve what they could achieve. They had to migrate away from that city to the nearby city where they were welcome. In that nearby city also had its own problems, but it still allowed the Prophet and the companions to be remaining united and organized. What can be or could be achieved, this formula tries to explain. When we are reaching the due time or reaching a milestone to achieve the next. Like if 100 years have gone, that almost 7.69 times of 13 years. Putting in perspective, if our Iman is 50% of the companions, then the model value would be 13 times 2 into 1, keeping the U constant to, so that's only 2 times of 13, still much below 7.69. If our unity is also 50%, then the formula gives 52 years, that is 4 times 13, still much below 7.69. So Ummah has a fear that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's help is not coming, but probably Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's help has already come, but Ummah is not catching proactively. Where 7.69 times of 13 years has gone, whereas it is already explained in this model, even if our Iman is 50%, our unity is 50%, the right time already had come 52 years back, means 50 when it passed 52 years. Yet another side of the model. There are said to be 124,000 companions of the Prophet ﷺ. On my search, I find that at that time the world population was around 200 to 330 million. That's about 0.06% companions of the Prophet ﷺ to the world population of that time. Like this, many other factors could be considered and the model could be further refined, but complexity and refinement would not reveal any different or better vision, which the simplistic formula already reveals. Migration has become incumbent for the people living under attack, living in Gaza. Based on the above discussion, it can be concluded that migration of Muslims from Gaza has become essential. Gaza people should not be detained even by the Muslims within the colossal calamities with the political belief that they have to be contained there and that if they all come out from there the case will be closed, settled against them. Their migration will not void their rights to their lands, homes and properties. They can better organize, they can organize them better, or they can better organize themselves while they have migrated in a neighboring in a neighboring country or countries, not elsewhere. Not only that, when they have virtually all migrated, the aggressor will not stop there. They will target the countries where they have migrated. So the countries have to be ready for those attacks and incidents. Plan accordingly. I will conclude this with two questions. Dajjal, we know Antichrist is going to come, and Al Mahdi is also going to come. They contemporary along the same time. What will happen? We know Isa alayhi salam also going to come, but I'm talking about Dajjal and Mahdi. I ask you a question: which country visa Dajjal will apply for to travel, or Al Mahdi, which country visa he will apply for to travel? What does it mean? I don't think any of them will apply for any country's visa to travel. That means the visa system will be broken. Hopefully, this gives a lot of information and an inspiration and strategies and planning forward activities. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.